We got a special guest today. One of the biggest names in the Pistons community comes on to talk with us about NBA Summer League, the Pistons' first game, their win against the Portland Trailblazers, Jaden Ivey, all of those things. We'll talk about that in today's episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Arcade 1UP. Locked On Pistons is partnering with Arcade 1UP to give away 3 free NBA JAM Shaq machines. That's right, 3 of them. These guys are known for making the incredible retro 3/4 scale at-home arcade games like Pac-Man, Golden Tee, and many more. Enter to win on arcade1up.com/lockedon. That's arcade1up.com/lockedon for your chance to win one of the NBA JAM Shaq machines. Per usual, I'm your host, Kuka Hill. You can find me over on Twitter at Kuka Hill. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the podcast. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers, continuing to show Locked On. We are the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. So again, if you want to find the best way to support the podcast, YouTube channel, Locked On Pistons, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. So we just got done last night watching the Detroit Pistons win their first Summer League game against the Portland Trail Blazers. Jaden Ivey had 20 points. We saw some good outings from a few other players. And I know we recorded about our quick takeaways about it earlier, or by the time you guys listened to it last night. But we decided to give you guys an extra episode for Saturday. And on this episode, we're going to be bringing on one of the most popular people in the Pistons community. Someone I've been trying to get on the podcast for literally, it feels like months now. We've been trying to do a collab for a long, long time now. If you guys are very active on YouTube, you guys definitely know who he is. If you guys aren't already, make sure you guys follow him on Twitter at everythingxking. But yep, we got King on here. How you doing, King? About time we got you on here, man. You feel me?
Man, I am doing great. Yeah, and just like you say, yeah, about time I got on this show, man. I watch Locked On Pistons a lot, man, and I've been wanting to get on here for a long time. Like I said, we got a really good Twitter relationship, man. Goes back for a while, so I'm excited, man.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, man. It's been a long time coming. Let's get it started. So I think obviously the place to start here is Jaden Ivey's debut with the Pistons. Not really his professional debut, but I guess you could call it like a semi-professional debut because it's the Summer League. He has this game of 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He shoots 6 of 14 from the field, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He struggled with turnovers a little bit in the first half, but he looked like he really settled down in the second half. What were your overall takeaways from what you saw from Jaden Ivey in this game against the Portland Trail Blazers?
I'm pretty much pleased with what I saw. You just want the young man to slow down. That's all. Just slow down. You can tell he was a little antsy. He was going 100 miles an hour. One thing that Jaden's going to have to learn over time is how to control that speed. When to go, when to slow down, making those right adjustments, especially when he's attacking the basket. Man, I'm super excited to see this fire and ice combination with him and Cade Cunningham, man, because they fit so well together.
Yeah, I can't. That's something I said on yesterday's episode that, I mean, there's some things I talked about within his game against the Trailblazers that were good and some of the things he has to improve on. But overall, like my biggest takeaway from watching him is that you're going to have a lot of fun watching him and Cade this offseason or this regular season. You're definitely going to have a ton of fun in transition. Hopefully they play a lot faster, especially with this new young team that they have here with him and Duren, Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, maybe Hamidou Diallo if he's in the rotation. You got all these younger guys who seem like they'd be better, and obviously Cade Cunningham, but all these young guys who seem like they'd be better playing a faster pace in transition, pushing the tempo, etc. And I think Jaden Ivey is going to be the main one that really makes that a lot of fun to watch. I hit on it a little bit in, like I said, yesterday's episode. I thought in the first half, like you said, he was really just he doesn't have. I think that's one of the things, like you said, that he has to learn and improve on is like changing gears. Like right now, it only seems like he has like one gear, and that's 100% full blown. I'm gonna beat you to this spot. I'm gonna use my speed nonstop, and that's something that obviously comes with experience. And you have to learn to be able to change gears to gain advantages on opponents, and be able to control yourself more often than not. And I thought that was something you saw a little bit in the half court yesterday, that he was struggling with, especially in the first half. It felt like he got himself into no man's land a few times, just going full speed. But I liked how he adjusted in the second half. Seemed like he started to figure some things out, try to play a little bit within himself, a little bit more. And I think what helped that too is the fact they got him in transition, they got him in semi-transition, they got him in fast break situations, and that's where he's really going to flourish. I think in half court he might struggle a little bit this season, creating for himself and creating for others. But I think in transition, semi-transition, fast break, I think he's going to be an absolute unit, and I think he's going to be incredibly fun to watch, especially in those areas.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, he's just gonna have to learn how to harness that speed. In the NBA, you just can't speed past everything. You can't just have one gear. Guys know how to use their feet in the NBA, so it's a whole different type of ball game when it comes to defending in the NBA. So, like I said, he's going to have to learn how to attack, the art of attacking. He looks so much like Dwayne Wade to me yesterday. The way he was attacking and falling all over that floor, man, it really took me back for a minute. But yeah, I think he's going to do well. He just has to, take the time to learn that game.
Yeah, I think another interesting thing with his game is that he took 5 threes yesterday. And I think Dwayne Casey kind of talked about it, like when he came on the broadcast during the game, that it seems like he wants to try to prove to everybody, whether he actually can hit them at the NBA level or whether he won't be able to. He seems intent on trying to prove to everybody, I can shoot the ball. I can shoot the ball. I'm willing to shoot the ball. I'm not just someone who's going to go to the basket every single time. I can hit some catch and shoot threes. I can hit some off the dribble threes. I'm going to take these threes, and I'm going to believe that they're going to go in. Do you think that that's something we're going to continue to see not only for the rest of the summer league, but going into the regular season?
Yeah, and maybe not so much in the regular season. I think he takes more calculated shots, but during the summer league, I think he's going to let it fly. He shot like what I call a lot of 4-pointers out there, some deep threes. So yeah, I just want to establish himself. Him currently, a couple of other guys on the team like Isaiah Stewart, they're going to let it fly during the summer league. Maybe in the season we see a more controlled Jaden Ivey taking better shots, better setup situations.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that you'll probably see most of his threes coming from catch and shoots off of driving kicks from Cade Cunningham. I think that's where you'll see the majority of his threes come from. I assume that you probably see him shoot around 2 threes a game, 2 to 3 threes a game in the regular season, but definitely in the summer league, he's probably going to get them up. And you saw that he was getting more loose and more fun with it, especially when he tried to do the fake behind the back pass and throw it over to the corner. That was fun. But you saw him start to get more loose, and as he got more loose, he started trying things and started taking shots that he wasn't trying before. I think it might even get more fun tomorrow, or by the time you guys listen to this tonight, in the Pistons' second summer league game. I think he started to feel himself a little bit. And I think you might be getting like the full-on Jaden Ivey, I'm feeling myself night with this game coming Saturday night. What's something that you want to see from him, though? Maybe whether it's something that you did see already in this game that you want to see it again, or something that you didn't see in the first summer league game that you kind of want to see from him in the second league or a second summer league game. You can go either route.
I just want to see him go from end to end in the game, with composure. I want to see him, settle down, get himself locked in. Also playmaking, man. That's one of the biggest things with Jaden Ivey that I wanted to see during the summer league. His ability to make plays and handle that basketball, make plays for other players, man, make players around him better. If he can continue to do that, man, that just adds to the dynamic. We got Cade Cunningham, and if you got Ivey out there making plays, setting up Jaden Ivey, that first play of the summer league for the Pistons, that said so much to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I expect to see things like that a whole lot out of this team. Made me really excited. So yeah, I just want to see him, go from end to end, nice and sound game, control those turnovers. I know that's a lot to ask out of a rookie, but that's what I want to see.
So I'll be looking forward to, and this is something that he's probably not going to, not probably, he will not have this addressed already in this second summer league game. It's a second summer league game, and he may not even have it addressed at any point during his rookie season. This may be something that it takes a while for him to develop and get better at, it's just fine. That's usually how it goes. But I would just like to see him look a little bit, or try to look a little bit more comfortable, or slow down in between the 3-point line and the rim. There were a few situations where I saw that he had a kick out, he had a drive and kick, he had an open read. But you can definitely tell that's somewhere he's a little bit uncomfortable in. Once he gets in between the 3-point line and the rim, he doesn't know exactly what he wants to do in that area. So I wanted to see the continued improvement, even the most minimal improvement from summer league to summer league game. That's why I'm looking forward to. 'Cause I think you're going to continue to see a lot of fast breaks, a lot of transition, a lot of dunks, a lot of alley oops, a lot of stuff like that. So I'm expecting that. But what I want to see is just little minor improvements, even if it's just a singular play where he looks better and makes the right read in between the areas. I think that would be nice to see. So
Yeah.
when we come back, though, we'll talk about Isaiah Stewart, who hit 3 threes in this game. He hit 3 threes in this first Summer League game. He played the majority of his minutes at the power forward position. We're going to get King's thoughts on that, on whether he believes Isaiah Stewart can actually play the 4 into the regular season. Does he believe in that? We'll talk about all that when we come back. But first, I have to tell you guys about one of our sponsors, Arcade 1UP. We have big news. The one, the only, NBA Jam is back. Arcade 1UP, the leader at home retro arcade games, is not only bringing the best game ever back, but they've made it bigger than ever before with a, wait for it, Shaq Edition machine. Jump clear across the court and set the ball on fire in one of the first sports games ever to feature real and digitized NBA licensed teams. No fouls, no free throws, and no quarters required. Compete with friends and family through all new Wi-Fi leaderboards, making you more connected than ever. Pre-order now from arcade1up.com. That's arcade, the number 1, up.com for an estimated early September ship date. Arcade 1UP is the place for fun. They've got even more classics like Golden Tee, Mortal Kombat, and many others starting at just $399. And check this out. They're giving away a free NBA JAM Shaq edition to a Locked On listener. Enter for a chance to win a game console for your man cave at arcade1up.com/lockedon. That's arcade, the number 1, up.com/lockedon. You've got till July 8th to enter to win, or actually today, by the time you guys listen to this, you got till today. This is your final chance to do so, to win an NBA JAM Shaq Edition console. Don't miss out and enter today. Who are you going to play with? With Arcade 1UP. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you have not already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the podcast, continuing to show Locked On will be the best and fast growing fan base at the Locked On Network. So again, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button over at the Locked On Pistons YouTube channel. So we're going to talk about Isaiah Stewart a little bit more here, King. And before we actually dive into Stu, I just want to say this game, would you agree with me if I said the game, like, obviously we were happy to see some Piston basketball, whether it's summer league or whatever, but would you agree that this was like an ugly game? It was just like, it wasn't the greatest or funnest game to watch.
My God, it was ugly. And full of fouling.
Yeah, it was 31 fouls by the Pistons, 32 fouls by the Blazers, 63 combined fouls. It was at 12 o'clock, too. They had to stay up till 12 o'clock to have to watch this and have the game last 2.5 hours full of fouls. It was, my God, dude.
It was torture, man, especially for guys like me. 7 o'clock in the morning, you got to get up and you sitting here going to bed at 3 o'clock because of fouls, man.
Oh, my goodness, dude. I couldn't imagine it. Tough. That's tough. But okay, let's talk about Isaiah Stewart a little bit. So there's been talk all throughout the offseason. I've covered it a lot on the podcast. I'm sure you've talked about it on your channel. Oh, but by the way, if you don't know about King's YouTube channel, I'm sure most of you guys, or almost all you guys do, make sure you guys go follow him on YouTube at Everything King. But I'm sure you covered it on your channel, on Twitter, etc. But there's been a lot of talk about Isaiah Stewart potentially playing the 4 for the Pistons this upcoming season. They drafted Jalen Duren. They have Nerlens Noel. They have Kelly Olynyk. They have Marvin Bagley. So it's a crowded front court. And Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey talked about the press conference, I believe, for the rookies, that they believe that Isaiah Stewart can play with Duren because he's going to be playing more 4 this upcoming season. Now, before this first Summer League game, and I'm not going to say you're going to act like one Summer League game completely changed everything for me, but I'm not a big believer in Stu at the 4. I wasn't a big believer in it. However, I'd be sitting here lying if I said he didn't try to convince me otherwise in this first game. He played really well, I thought, in this first game. To be honest, I thought Stu probably played, I guess you could say maybe Jaden Ivey, but I actually think Stu probably played the best game out of everybody on the floor for the Pistons this first game of the Summer League. I think it was very clear he's a third-year player out there. He made that known. That's what you want to see from these guys, that they very clearly look like the NBA players, and he did. But he hit 3 threes in this game. He had one really bad miss in the first quarter, and I thought, oh, no, it's not going to work. And then he went on to make 2 really good ones after. I was like, okay, he's still first of all, the fact that he made them afterwards, but then the fact that he shot them and felt confident enough to, I just missed this one by hitting all backboard, but I'm going to keep letting it fly. I really like seeing that from him. He had a few short roll passes that I really like seeing from him, some quick reads from him. I thought overall he actually looked better offensively as a 4 than he did defensively as a 4. That kind of shocked me. So I really wanted to give Isaiah Stewart some props. And he hit, like I said, he hit 3 threes, and he looked a little bit better offensively at the 4 position in the summer league game than I thought he would. Did you expect him to look this good, or were you shocked by it, or what?
I mean, watching the work that he has been putting in so far in this short summer, watching the way that he changed up that form a little bit, made it a little bit cleaner. It looked really good. It looked really good. I feel like that shot that he missed badly, he kind of rushed. But he looks great as far as form. Will we see this thing for real during the regular season with Isaiah Stewart playing the 4? Only time it's going to tell. Like I said, it's first game of the summer league. We need to see more of it. Obviously, he has to go through training camp. We have to go through preseason. I think he has plenty of time, to make a statement and say, hey, listen, I'm capable of stretching the floor when I need to. But if that is a factor and that's something that he can do, it changes everything for his career. It literally changes everything for his career. It changes everything for this team, because when we have, Duren doing what Duren is doing, eventually they would be somewhat of a force in this league, because Isaiah's already a physical guy for an undersized, player.
Yeah, and even going back to his rookie season, if you go back to when I very first took over the podcast, I used to tell you guys that Isaiah Stewart, if he can add a 3-point game to his shot, and this is when he very first started showing it towards the end of the season, he started taking more threes. That was when he was taking a lot of mid-range pops too. I was saying that if he can add that kind of shot, that will unlock the ceiling for him. Without that, I felt like his ceiling was pretty capped. The second season made me believe that, okay, maybe it may not be part of his game. And obviously through just one summer league game, but he did back up a lot of the talk that Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey have been giving us throughout the majority of this offseason, talk about they believe in his outside shot. Because again, he got 4 of them up, and even after the bad miss, he just kept firing them away. He didn't lose any confidence. He kept shooting them. He made two really nice ones. So I really liked what I saw from him. And one of the things you said, actually, that he has a lot of time still to the regular season. I think that's something that a lot of fans need to know, that summer league, yes, like probably the most popular part of the offseason for these guys, because you get to watch them. But when summer league ends, the offseason doesn't end for these guys. Their development doesn't end in the offseason. They still have another 2-3 months to go of like this. I don't even think they're halfway through their offseason yet. Or
it actually starts. It actually starts. Cool.
Yeah. This is the beginning of it. So it's like they have plenty of time. This is not going to be a finished product, but it's good to see that he's feeling this confident. He's already letting it rip like this. And we already know that he's going to be. That's one thing you can't say negatively about Isaiah Stewart, is that he won't be in the gym. He's going to be in the gym working hard. He's going to be trying to continue to improve on this. So I really liked what I saw from him, man. Him at the 4, I'm not a believer in it yet. He did a good job of trying to sway me there. I'm willing to watch it happen out or play out. It's just one summer league game. I'd like to see how it plays throughout the summer league and entering into training camp. But we hear out of training camp, but through one game, he looked a lot better than I thought he did. I'm not going to lie. He looked a lot better than I thought he did. But there's another player I actually want to talk with you about too, before we get to, I'm going to have a little bit of fun with you in the final segment. We're going to have a little bit of fun, but Jalen Duren, he only played 12 minutes, but in those 12 minutes, I feel like you immediately felt his presence and what he's going to bring to the team. Did you like what you saw from him?
Man, I was so excited watching Jalen, man. Like I said, you hear the comparisons on TV, to Sean Kemp and things like that. And I was calling him the poor man's Dwight Howard out there last night, man, because he literally was a force. And, like I said, the thing with Duren that made me really happy about getting him is where he comes from. Coming from Memphis, he had the opportunity over there to work with Rasheed Wallace. Now, us as Pistons fans, we remember what Rasheed Wallace was doing with the big man here for the short time that he was here. And his method was dunk everything. Dunk everything. We've needed that so bad on this team. We need that athleticism. We need that true lob threat out there, but also on the defensive end, smacking the ball off the glass, man, just being as athletic and as fierce on the defensive end. So, man, I was smiling ear to ear watching that young man, only 12 minutes, but I'm very happy with what I saw.
Yeah, and it seems like that he only played 12 minutes. I believe they said that he was on a minutes restriction since he only got one practice in, and the signing had just traded to just become official. So that's why he didn't end up playing more minutes than that. I assume that he'll obviously play a lot more minutes moving forward. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. You said everything you need to say right there. I completely agree with it. But there's one thing I want to talk about is the fact the Pistons might have like the strongest like power forward center combination. If they start those two guys, they might have like the strongest one in the league. Like both of these dudes, they're both 18, 20 years old, 18, 19. And they both just look massive, dude. They have the like just like you said, Dwight Howard, like the broad shoulders, the big like they just look intimidating, dude. Like they're just crazy.
The fact that he's as young as he is, man, it is crazy to me.
Mhm.
I'm just glad that he comes from our own backyard, because if he was probably from Africa or somewhere, they say he was 25 or 28 years old, because he looks like a man out there, man. It's amazing though. I love it.
Yeah, and like you said, I think in this game, just in those 12 minutes, you see he's going to be a lob threat. He's going to be able to block shots. He's explosive athlete. He's going to be active on the glass. He's going to be active running the floor. I think, and another thing that's going to be great for him, not just for us as Pistons fans or for the Pistons organization, but for him as a player, is the fact he's going to be playing with Kay Cunningham and Killian Hayes. And those two guys are going to make life so much easier on him on lobs. They're going to be looking for him nonstop on those in the dunker spot. They're going to create a lot of openings for him to get easy dunks, just like you saw with Marvin Bagley last year. So I think he found the perfect position to find himself in for his career to start off. And again, it's just one game. He only played 12 minutes, but I thought in those 12 minutes already that you saw what he's going to do. He's not going to come out there, take a bunch of jump shots. He's not going to come out there, post up, hook shots, whatever. He's going to come out there. He's going to set hard screens. He's going to roll to the rim. He's going to dunk everything he gets. If he gets anywhere close to the basket, he's going to dunk on you. And if you come near the basket, he's going to swat it into the third row. Like that's just what he's going to do. That's what he's going to bring to the team. And I think that's something they desperately need, to be honest. They might have that if they go with like the veteran experience with Noel a little bit, but if they go full development and want to see Duren, he's absolutely going to bring that instantly. The other stuff, the little minor things, the parts about learning defenses, drop coverage, all that stuff, he's gonna have to improve on, obviously, but he's gonna bring like the instant lob threat, dunk everything, swat stuff out of bounds, all that. He's gonna bring that instantly. And it's gonna be a lot of fun to see it. I'm interested in how that's going to go the rest of the summer league. But before we get to the final segment, where I'm going to talk about a certain player who just completely sabotaged things for me yesterday. I want to see if King feels the same way. We have to talk about one of our sponsors, and that's going to be BetOnline.net. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your sports betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's NHL playoffs and Major League Baseball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. And also Summer League, obviously, now that it's going on. But when the NBA season comes back, you'll have the NBA. You got college basketball. When the NFL season comes back, you got NFL. You got college football. You even got tennis. You got all kinds of things you can check out over at betonline.net. And if you go to the basketball section over there, you'll see that they already got the favorites for next season. They got the favorites to be the worst team in the league, the favorites to be the best team in the league, favorites for MVP, most improved, rookie of the year, all those kind of things already over at betonline.net. Head to their website today and use your mobile device to learn more about their trends and action today. BetOnline, where the game starts. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It's the best way to support the podcast on our road to 5,000 subscribers, continuing to show Locked On will be the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. So, King, I'm not going to talk about Killian Hayes in this third segment with you because I've spent the last 5 hours raging on Twitter and I think I'm all Killian Hayes out. All I'll say about what we saw from Killian, and I'll let you chime in if you want, give your opinion on it. But I thought he obviously only got 4 shots up, but I feel like that was kind of he took what the defense gave him. The defense was trapping him a lot. The defense was forcing him to pass a lot. When the shots were there, he took the shots that were there, but there just weren't that many there for him. And he played off ball a ton to Saben Lee and Jaden Ivey. So he didn't really get that many on ball reps to do anything. But when he did, he routinely made the right play over and over and over. I know he didn't shoot a lot, which is what everyone wanted him to see. Heck, I said on the podcast, I wanted him to shoot a lot. I didn't want to see him pass the ball. I wanted to see him shoot. But if he's going to be trapped and there's going to be a bunch of help all the time, I mean, I can't get mad at him for making the right play over and over. And to be honest, he looked like, to me, clearly like he was a third-year player out there. He wasn't struggling making the right reads. He wasn't panicking to traps or helps or anything. He was making routinely the right pass to the corner, kickouts, looking off people. Like he was making the right reads. He looked like a third-year player. I would like to see it. I'm sure everyone would like to see him shoot more. I just feel like it wasn't really a chance to happen in this first game with how things played out. I'll let you say something real quick, and then I really want to get to the sabotager himself, Saben Lee. But go ahead.
Yeah, the thing with Killian, one thing that the fans got to understand, he's not going to just go out there and force and jack up shots, you know what I'm saying, just to please the fan base. Killian is a very calculated player out there. He's going to try to make the guys around him successful. If you have him playing off the ball while Saben Lee's out there, it was absolutely ridiculous. But also you have to think about it, you know, the spacing out there wasn't the greatest either. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I felt like he played a lot better at those limited times where Jalen Duren was out there on the court. You know, he wanted to attack more. Obviously, that lob threat opens up some things for him. But when you got Braxton Key and Saben Lee out there, it's just not the greatest situation. So, like I said, with Killian Hayes, to me, looked like a third-year player, was under control, unlike the other guy we're getting ready to talk about. But yeah, like I said, we've seen a display of that at the end of the season, last season, for a couple of stretches of games. I think he continues to build on that. But, you know, first summer league game, Killian's not going out there jacking up 1,000 shots just to make you happy. That's just not going to happen.
See, and I think this would be a perfect segue into talking about who I'm about to bring up. And it's the fact that the few days before this game, I was on the podcast saying, I don't want to see you make this corner skip pass. I don't want to see you make the right reads all the time. I want to see you just go out there and get shots up. I want to see you go out there and be aggressive shooting. That was my belief before the game. Then I saw a player on the team actually do that. then I was like, no, that would have been the worst thing you could have done. You would have looked awful if you just said, screw the trap, screw the double here, screw the help. I'm just going to shoot the ball anyways. It would have looked way worse. It would have looked like, what's he doing? He looks like he's lost out there. And that's exactly what Saben Lee looked like. Saben Lee looked like he was completely out there to sabotage. It was historic what was going on out there. I spent the whole last segment yesterday talking about it, but the fact that he dominated the ball so much, like I knew he would have the ball in his hands because obviously Summer League, you want to give him a chance, whatever. But with how much he dominated the ball and how little he was looking to pass the ball was just like historic. Like, let me give you just an example. He had 8 shots, but he had 13 points. So he had 13 free throw attempts along with his 8 shots. So really, he had like 15 shots.
Right.
So it's like, dude, if you look at just 2 free throws for each shot attempt, he had 15 shots, which would lead the team. I cannot believe he had the ball in his hands for as much as he did. I can't believe he was. I have to believe he was doing it on purpose. Just purposely not trying to pass the ball. I have to believe it was on purpose. It wasn't the fact that he regressed as a passer or a playmaker or his vision guy. I have to believe it was on purpose because of how insane it was. It was awful. It was bad. So I just want to say, for those of you guys that want Killian to go out there and just jack up shots, whether he was open or not, you would have got what Saben did. That's what you would have saw. And what Saben did, he made himself look like one of the worst players on the floor, in my opinion, by doing that. That doesn't help you. Going out there and just shooting shot after shot because you feel like it's your time, that's not going to help you. I feel like Saben didn't do himself any favors at all last night, and I think he actively hurt people he was on the floor with by what he was doing.
Yeah, he totally sabotaged. He literally scored points off of just running out of control and crashing into people. Literally, man, this guy was, he was all over the place. And, you know, I'm just sitting here like, man, would you please please put Killian Hayes back in the game, man. His lip is fine. Get him back out there, man. Because it was kind of rubbing off on Jaden for a minute, man. Jaden in the first half, he started running around kind of wild, and I'm like, good Lord, man, just please, I need some controlled basketball out here, and like I said, with Saben, and here's the thing with Saben. I like Saban's heart. I love his heart. I just don't know if he has what I'm looking for when it comes to skill set. The jump shot, he did shoot it confidently. He knocked one down. But with the mechanics, I don't think you're ever going to get a consistent jump shot out of that. I don't know if Saban's going to be a guy that you bring in with the second unit. So, like I said, I love Saben a lot, man. But yesterday, I just felt like it didn't help his case. It just did not help his case.
Yeah, and all joking aside, all me ranting aside, all of that, the way he played yesterday is the exact opposite of what you want any player to play like in the Summer League or at any point. That's the exact opposite. And I joked yesterday that if I got like a one-day contract for a Summer League and I got to play one game, that's how he played yesterday is exactly how I would go out there and play. I got one game in the NBA. I'm going out there. I'm getting my shots up. I'm going out there. It's all me. That's how he played yesterday. I think how he played, like you said, I think it started to rub off on Ivey a little bit in the first half too, where it just wasn't really looking to pass a lot, and he was kind of dribbling themselves into no man's land. And also, again, it just, I feel like one of the main reasons why you didn't see Killian get more than 4 shots up was because Saben was dominating the ball so much, and because he just wasn't looking to pass. It'd be different if he was dominating the ball and making the right read and stuff came. He just didn't care. He didn't care if like a second person came. He was just shooting the ball. And it was the play that I said yesterday, like I've never been more happy to see a Piston player get blocked in my life. There was one play when he drove down to the rim and he had like 3 guys wide open in the perimeter. And he just said, screw it, I'm going to still go up with it. And he got stuff sent to the third row. I've never been happier to see a Piston get blocked. I was like, dude, come on. That was bad. That was just bad. But I hope he's going to get more, obviously some more time. The rest of the Summer League, he's going to continue to have the ball in his hands. I hope the coaching, and I believe it was James Edwards or Omari Sankofa or Rod Beer, one of the beat writers. I believe one of them said that Dwayne Casey and the coaching staff were on the sideline saying, move the ball. Like every time he touched it, they were screaming, move the ball, pass the ball. He was dribbling too much. Yeah. And he just said, screw it, I'm going to just keep doing it. So I hope in this second game and continue on through the Summer League. Listen, Saban's a score-first guard. We know that. He's a score-first guy. But you can't be a score-first at that point. It can't get that extreme. Hopefully he brings it back a little bit.
Yeah, you had 2 examples, man, and them both being in 2 players that were drafted in the same year. You had 2 examples. You had a third-year guy that said, "Hey, I'm not going to go out of here, out of control, making crazy passes or shooting and jacking up crazy shots and just forcing things." But then you had another third-year guy that said, "Hey, I'm going out here and I'm going 100 miles an hour, and I don't care if I go 1 for 8 from the field. I'm just out here pounding the basketball." And that's just what you don't want to see. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully Saben, comes out next game a little bit under control, more composure out there with the basketball, moving the basketball, looking to set up his teammates. But yeah, we know he's a score first guy, but in that situation, you got to say, hey, I need to do other things that can affect the basketball game and, affect winning.
And the crazy thing is, and I'll end it off with this, though, is that, again, he is a score-first guy, and he does a good job of drawing free throws. He's even done that when he's been in the NBA. He does get foul calls a lot. I don't know if that's because he's so small and he's good at selling contact. When he gets hit, it looks like he's actually getting hit hard. Right. But he does a good job of drawing fouls. It says everything else in this game is what he struggles with. And the fact that I feel like definitely the coaching staff didn't look at what he did yesterday very well at all, because they know that he's a score-first guy and they need to see him try to develop some of this other stuff. And it's not like in Killian's situation where he was being doubled and still making passes. You want to see him shoot shots, but he's getting trapped. He's making the right pass. You can't get mad at that. Saben had the chances to make the right pass, to make the right read, and it looked like he basically just said, I don't care. I'm getting my shots up. This is my time. And that's not something you want to see. And hopefully he improves on that. He at least tries this. I don't care if he takes 8 shots. That's not if he wants to take 8 shots, take 8 shots throughout the flow of the game. But like, it can't be like basically 15 shots when you include the free throws. It can't be that. But heading into the second game, we'll end it off here, King. What do you think? Give me a bold prediction that you think you see in this second Summer League game.
Second Summer League game, I think we see a little bit more out of guys like Killian Hayes. I think second game, he probably takes it upon himself to try to get to the basket a little bit more. Like I said, first game, we didn't get much of, Duren out there. I think we get more time with Duren. So I think it's going to open up some opportunities for Killian to get himself to that basket and potentially put a few more buckets up there.
All right, my bold prediction will be that Killian ends the game with more shots than Saben. That will be my bold prediction. But we'll wrap up the podcast right there. Thank you, King, for coming on, man. We've been trying to do this for literally months. It's great that we finally were able to get this collab going. Let everybody know where they can find your YouTube channel and your Twitter or any other work that you want out there.
You can find me on Twitter at EverythingXKing, and you can also find me on YouTube at Everything King. Also Instagram on IamKing77X.
Definitely, you guys go check out King, man. He does great work. He's been doing this for a long time. I remember when I very first started on YouTube. I first started coming to the Pistons community back out of high school, I believe in like 2016. I remember he was around growing up and blowing up. He did a nice thing for me back a few years ago. I remember he shouted out my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel back in like 17 or 18. And I gained like 400, 500 subscribers in one day. So King's a great guy, dude. He does great content. Make sure you guys go follow him on Twitter, on Instagram. Definitely sub to his YouTube channel. He does great stuff. Thank you, King, for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we have you on again at some point. But I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. That's all we've got for you today. Enjoy this Summer League game tonight. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Again, make sure you guys go sub to Everything King's YouTube channel. And until next podcast, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everybody.